Hang on a minute. Did we just watch a team win a football match without their best player? I thought the narrative from City fans since losing Rodri is one win in 12 games is a little bit more acceptable because City are going through a tough phase. Arsenal have gone out there tonight without Bukayo Saka with a front three that have never played together in Nwaneri, Jesus, and Martinelli. Two of that front three have scored. The other one is 17 in the second hardest away game in the Premier League season as it stands right now, Brentford, and they've absolutely bossed them. They've absolutely bossed them. And I'm not coming out here, shitting on Manchester City, but it just goes to show you that with coaching and with a game plan and not relying on your best player, using the other tools at your disposal, you can actually get a good result. And Arsenal have gone out there and won convincingly. 14 shots against 5 shots on target against 2, and they win 3-1. Martinelli delivers. Gabriel Jesus, really, really good again. And there's a stat I've just seen, which is going to blow your mind, and I'm going to bring that up shortly. Make sure you go down, drop a like if you haven't already. Make sure you go and check out earlier's transfer video regarding Arsenal. There'll be transfer video about Liverpool tomorrow and Chelsea, so make sure you check those out. But make sure you go out and have a look at that earlier. Kind of a good breakdown of all the players they're currently being linked to, what's likely, what's unlikely, and what they may need to show ambition to get done. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're steamrolling our way towards 40,000 subscribers, and 88% of you that watch this channel are not subscribed. So what are you waiting for? Join the community. Let me know your thoughts. We've just hit 36K, and you guys seem to be loving the content. The Arsenal lineup today, when I saw it, it was very... I didn't think, I'll be honest, I'll hold my hands up. I tried to be as honest and open as I can on this channel. When I saw that Arsenal lineup, I did not think they will score 3. But the second half, Arsenal were much, much better, right? The back four, solid. Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. We'll get into Brentford's goal in a minute. Odegaard, Merino, Partey. Not the most of balanced midfields, I would say. I think there's a little bit more balance when it's Rice, Partey, and Odegaard, but still more than good enough. And a front three that's never played together in Martinelli, who has been criticised recently for his recent form, Gabriel Jesus, who is on fire, and Ethan Nwaneri. And I'll tell you something about that kid. Ethan Nwaneri is going to be special player. The way he receives the ball on the turn, the first touch. One thing I think he needs to improve on, and of course, at 17 years of age, you're never going to be the perfect player, is just releasing that ball a little bit earlier. There was a time in the second half where he does a lovely little nutmeg, drops the shoulder, gets past one. And if he releases that ball earlier, Martinelli makes a great run, and maybe they've got another goal. But he's only 17 or 18 years of age. I think he's 17. He is a top player. He's 17. I think he's 18 in March. If he, with the right coaching around him and the right players around him, he could go very, very far at Arsenal. Very, very far. But fair play to Brentford. It's a tough place to go, and they started really, really strongly. I mentioned earlier on my transfer video, it's a Brian Mbeumo audition for Arsenal. And he didn't disappoint. He takes the goal really, really well. Wrong foot's David Raya. It's a great ball through from, is it Damsgaard? I think it was Damsgaard. Straight through. Brian Mbeumo over on that right-hand side, cuts in. And I think David Raya is anticipating that he's going to kind of bend it round David Raya to his right, but he doesn't. He goes bottom left, wrong foots. I don't really think there's a huge amount in terms of the finish that's wrong. I think it was a good strike. Maybe the defending could have been better. David Raya, for me, needs to get down a little bit faster, but I take nothing away from the strike. It was a good goal. But the way Arsenal responded, and I always speak about how important the first 15 minutes after a half-time team talk are. But the goal, Thomas Partey strikes it straight at Flecken, and there is Gabriel Jesus. Now, Gabriel Jesus at the moment is in, I would say, it kind of reminds me of the form he had when he first joined Arsenal. He looks very, very good. He looks confident. He looks happy. He looks like he's enjoying his football. He looks like right now, I would say right now, he looks like back to his normal, I would say, self. Takes the goal really, really well. It's a great header, and he heads it into the back of the net. And the Gabriel Jesus stat that I wanted to bring up is that when he scored in the Prem, out of 62 games when scoring, he has never lost a game. This stat is incredible. 62 games, 57 wins, 5 draws, 0 defeat. The most games scored without a single loss. That is nuts to think about. Getting to halftime, Arsenal come out, absolutely steamroll, 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, and they are absolutely in dreamland. Mikel Merino, it's a bit of a pinball situation, and he arrives at the right time, a kind of a poacher sort of strike just outside, just inside the 6-yard box, and makes it 2-1. And as soon as they got that goal, I thought, that's it. And then Gabriel Martinelli, a player that I have heavily criticised, and a player that I think Arsenal fans need to see more consistency from his game. It's a great volley, and it's past Flecken, and it's in the back of the net. And Martinelli this season now has got 5 goals and 2 assists in 17 games. And the run of games they've got coming up, Arsenal need him. They've got Manchester United coming up. They've got Spurs coming up. They've got Aston Villa. They've got Newcastle in the Cup. They've got Brighton on Saturday. It's a tough run of games. But as I was saying earlier, when Arsenal play away from home, they play with a lot more freedom because teams naturally come out against them. Brighton will come out and try and play football against them. They've done that recently against Crystal Palace. They've done that recently against Sporting, against West Ham. Look at the difference in their results away from home compared to at home. 2-0 against Man United, 2 set-piece goals. Drawing 0-0 with Everton. Beating Crystal Palace, but they should have been a lot more convincingly that game. Only beating Ipswich 1-0, drawing to Everton 0-0. Arsenal, when they play at home, there's a lot more balance in their game. There's a lot more of an attacking threat. There's a lot more of an identity of what they want to do. And as it stands right now, I think Arsenal are in a very, very good position going into that Brighton game. They had to win today. If they had lost and Liverpool would have won their game in hand, it would have been something like 11 points above. But they are still in the title race. All they can do is put the pressure on Liverpool. They've won their last 3. Equally, they've matched Liverpool's results in their last 5. They have got to go out there and sign a couple of players in January, because at some point, if this current group of players, the only really attacking option I looked on the bench, I think, was Leandro Trossard. Sterling's out. Saka's out. Havertz, I think he may have been on the bench as well, but they need more. They need more attacking threat. Nwaneri looks a top player. He may come in and try and take some of the pressure off of Havertz. And Jesus at the moment, he's in good goal scoring form. But the Premier League title race is not over. I do think Liverpool are strong favourites, and as it stands right now, I think I'd be lying if I said I don't think. I think I'd be lying if I said I don't think they'll win the league, because I do. I think they're in a very, very good position. But just look, they've scored 7 goals less than Liverpool. Liverpool have got a game in hand. That needs to be closed down a little bit. Chelsea have had a wobble recently. They've lost 2 games on the bounce. And I think Arsenal today, they went out there and they showed character. They showed some mentality. They showed some grit and determination. But that bench is just looking a little bit light from an attacking standpoint. Only Leandro Trossard, Zinchenko, a fullback, Jorginho, Declan Rice, midfielders, Miles Skelly, Kivior, and Tierney, defenders. Neto's a goalkeeper, and Ismail Kabia, I think, is an academy player. So I don't know much about him. But if you look at it from the bench in which they played, if I go back to the Manchester City game, which was only the 3rd game of the season, and yes, I'm bringing up the City game because it is relevant. I know it was so early on in the season, but from an attacking standpoint, on the bench, they had Gabriel Jesus, Raheem Sterling, Nwaneri, and of course, they had Martinelli, Havertz, and Saka on the pitch. So they had 2 or 3 options to come off the bench, whereas today they only had 1. But overall, a good 3 points for Arsenal, a well-deserved 3 points on the match stats. I think they were by far the better side. I think they went out there today and kind of proved that they are still a very good side, even without Saka. But I just think they just need a little bit more quality when it comes down to those final third decisions, when it comes down to getting goals. And Buemo would be a fantastic addition. He really would. That's 13 league goals for him so far. Or Cunha. Match stats, what's that? 10 passes in it. Not a huge amount. Passing accuracy, very similar, but more shots on target. And of course, similar. It was an even game. Arsenal they were just better in the final third. But as it stands, the title is not over. There's still a long way to go, but they must go out there. They have to sign another player. They've got to bring in another forward. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you have subscribed. And I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone. We've just obviously 36K. Absolutely unreal. And this channel's not even a year old. It's about 10 months old. So it's absolutely nuts. Let me know your thoughts down below on it as well. And there'll be more transfer videos out tomorrow. Arsenal do win 3-1 away at the GTEC Stadium and keep the pressure on Liverpool.